It's Friday night, and you are a rich man, not in money, in promises. Your phone glows on the table, 3 conversations, 3 women, each one believes tonight belongs to her, because you told each one it did. You have 4 free evenings a week, and you have promised 9 dinners, 2 weekends away, and 1 someday. We'll move in together. For months, this worked. Your word was good everywhere in town. Then 20 minutes ago, Emma found Chloe's jacket behind your couch. And now all 3 phones are lighting up at once. Every promise you ever issued being called in for payment on the same night. And you do not have the evenings to cover them. Your currency is collapsing in real time. So here is the question. How does a man go broke in words? Because it is precisely how a country goes broke in money. Start with the uncomfortable part. Money is not a thing. The note in your wallet is a promise, a claim on real stuff that someone, somewhere, must eventually honor. In 1963, the economist Milton Friedman compressed the entire science of this into one famous sentence. Inflation is always and everywhere a monetary phenomenon. Prices rise when the promises multiply faster than the real things behind them. That is the whole machine. Now watch it run. Rewind 6 months. You had 1 girlfriend and 4 free evenings a week, and you paid for the relationship in promises. A dinner on Friday, a weekend in spring. Your promises held value for exactly one reason. They could be redeemed for something real. Your time. 1 girlfriend, 4 evenings, a solid currency. Then you got greedy. A second girlfriend, a third. And here is the most important move in the whole story. You tripled the promises in circulation, but your evenings, the real economy backing them, did not grow at all. More claims, same goods. Every promise you issue is now worth less than the one before it. You didn't feel it happen. Neither did they. Not yet. That silent thinning has a name, and you have been living inside it your whole life. Because every dollar, euro, and pound on earth is run exactly like your Friday nights. Since August 15, 1971, the day President Nixon closed the gold window and ended the dollar's exchange rate of $35 for an ounce of gold, nothing physical has backed the world's money at all. Only confidence in the promise keeper. And the promise keeper prints. $1 from 1970 needs about $8.60 today to buy the same groceries. That is a leak of roughly 4% a year, compounding against your savings while you sleep. Polite, invisible, relentless, and sometimes not invisible at all. In February 2021, the American money supply was growing at nearly 27% a year, the fastest rate on record. 16 months later, in June 2022, prices were rising at 9.1%, the sharpest spike in 40 years. First, the promises multiply, then the price tags catch up, always in that order. And notice who pays, not the printer. You hold the promises. Your salary is a number, your savings are a number, and someone else decides how many numbers exist. Girlfriend number 1 kept every rule of this relationship, and she is the one being robbed. So watch what she does, because she is every shopkeeper in history. She senses her promises are thinning. The Friday dinner has quietly become a rushed coffee, so she demands more promises for the same evening. 2 dinners a week now, if you really love her. That is a price increase, and you, unable to mint more time, mint bigger words instead. We'll move in together someday. Bigger denominations. Same 4 evenings. Economies do this with actual ink. In January 1923, a loaf of bread in Berlin cost 250 marks. By that November, it cost 200 billion, and the mark traded at 4.2 trillion to $1 American. Bigger and bigger notes, chasing the same bread. Then comes the jacket, the moment every inflation is secretly about. Emma finds it, the group chat forms, and confidence. The only thing that ever backed your currency dies. All 3 demand redemption at once, and your words go to zero in a single weekend. Nations have lived that exact weekend. Zimbabwe, November 2008, monthly inflation of 79.6 billion%, prices doubling roughly every 25 hours. Hungary, July 1946, the worst ever recorded, prices doubling every 15 hours until the state simply executed the currency and issued a new one that August. Hyperinflation is not extreme inflation. It is a different event entirely. It is the run on Dave. It is the moment belief dies. So how does a broken promise maker ever recover? There is only one way, and it hurts. Stop printing. Shrink the promises. Honor painfully and publicly every claim that remains. In March 1980, American inflation hit 14.8%, and a Federal Reserve chairman named Volcker did exactly this. He drove interest rates to 20%, making every new promise brutally expensive, and held the line while the whole country screamed at him. By 1983, inflation was under 3%, credibility bought back at full price. And that is why, since January 2012, the Federal Reserve has published an explicit target, 2% inflation, every single year, on purpose. Read that again. The leak in your wallet is not an accident. It is the design, a slow, controlled burn, calibrated to keep money moving without ever waking the panic, which flips the whole story. Inflation looks like weather, mysterious, uncontrollable, arriving from nowhere to punish careful people. It is not weather. It is arithmetic, promises, divided by real things, managed by human beings, on purpose. You could not see your own Friday night inflation while you were causing it, but you can see theirs now. When money grows faster than what money buys, prices follow, with a lag, but every single time. Be honest about the cost, though. Volcker's cure threw America into recession and pushed unemployment to 10.8%, the worst since the Great Depression. Millions of jobs burned to restore the meaning of one number, and economists still argue about how much of the 2022 spike came from the printer and how much from pandemic supply chains snapping. The debate is real, the pattern is not. Here is what survives all of it. Every note in your pocket is trust, made countable. Gold was never really the point, the promise keeper was. So from tonight, watch the ratio, the promises issued against the real evenings behind them, in your money, and in everything else you are ever asked to believe in, because the value was never in the paper, it was always in the keeping of the word.